Shaq was totally right about Anthony Edwards, but is anyone shocked?
Listen, when you're playing against a young cat that wants all the smoke and he wants your spot, don't matter if you're about 22, you better continue to play hard and take him out. Because this kid right here, he's not stopping. Again, he wants it. You know, a lot of teams, because of the system, make sure, man, this guy is the system and he is the man. Very aggressive. No Carl Anthony Towns, so he's probably going to take 4 or 5 shots, but he's very aggressive. He can get downhill whenever he wants it. But I like it because if you look at it, it reminds me of a young. He's going to score. He's going to get his every time. He's playing super aggressive, and I respect the kid and love the kid because he wants it. You talk about, who's going to be the next. They mention his name sometime, but he plays like, you know what? You will remember the name Anthony Edwards.
Shaq played with both guys he's about to compare Anthony Edwards to, and honestly, it's not far off. But what about a young T-Mac? Ant's a better three-point shooter, but they are both born scorers who are willing and able to wreck bigger defenders on dunk attempts. T-Mac is probably the most underrated guy of the 21st century. He was an all-around player who probably could have given more of an effort on defense, but his career was cut short from injuries. Here's hoping that doesn't happen to Ant. Maybe a young Dominique Wilkins. Both are killer in-game dunkers. Dominique knew how to silence an away crowd with one slam, but he also just didn't try on defense, which is definitely not the case for Ant. Anthony Edwards is only in year 4 and he's already climbing the list of great young shooting guards, leading his team to a top seed in a pretty competitive Western Conference. T-Mac's teams were never that competitive, but you can blame a lot of that on his teammates' injuries. Dominique goes down in history as the best player to never make it past the second round, so not exactly a high standard for Ant to pass. Now that Karl Anthony Towns is out for the foreseeable future, Edwards has the chance to prove that he can carry a franchise on his back through a deep playoff run. Of course, no one could do it alone, just like the guy who Ant reminds Shaq of. Wade won his first title with Shaq in 2006 and then wasn't able to get another one until LeBron came in 2010. Wade isn't the only guy Shaq compared him to, but it might be the best comp. First off, you've got the flashiness. Ant is the current great dunker in the NBA, the kind of guy that would have dominated the dunk contest 20 years ago, before good players were scared to look bad in the dunk contest. Between creative off-the-glass finishes and powerful jams over big defenders, Edwards goes out of his way to humiliate anyone who thinks they can stop him at the rim. Just like Wade posterizing Anderson Varejao.
He was looking for contact from Jermaine O'Neal, got a piece of it. Wade,
Edwards is making a case for himself for an all-defensive nod this season. Among all guards who are MVP candidates, how many are actually good defenders? You got Ant, SGA, that's pretty much it. If you're gonna walk the footsteps of D Wade and the other guy that Shaq compared him to, you need to tune it up on defense. Ant is one of the last players in the league to truly dominate on both sides of the floor. He is legitimately a lockdown defender on the perimeter and athletic enough to make that a transition weapon, just like Wade.
They could not put the ball in the hole. Stackhouse. Knocked away by Wade.
Wade is the greatest shot blocker of anyone under 6'5", once swatting prime LeBron twice in his late career years. So when Anthony Edwards almost cracks his skull on the backboard for a game-winning block, who does he look like? A little Dwayne Wade-ish, right?
I like it because if you look at it, it reminds me of a young D Wade, of a young Kobe. He's going to score. He's going to get his every time. He's playing super aggressive.
Don't forget Kobe was an all-time dunker in his early years, a lot like Ant now. Like that time he welcomed Dwight Howard to the NBA in the most embarrassing way, a dunk that became 10 times funnier a decade later when Kobe hated playing with Dwight. Kobe was also a lockdown defender with his most iconic defensive sequence against Wade. Despite what LeBron fans try to tell you, Kobe was the one to perfect the chase down block. Ant is the second coming of the athletic shooting guard archetype, the Dwayne Wade, the Kobe Bryant, and...
I like Ant because he has that look. He wants it. He wants all the smoke. He wants to be the best player. You know, they're comparing him to Michael Jordan. I agree with a lot of those comparisons.
Do you think the comparison is on point? If you think it's off, you're not the only one. Keep watching to see another NBA Legends take on the MJ comparisons. But if you're making a shooting guard in the lab, Anthony Edwards might be the prototype. The comparisons between him, MJ, Kobe, and D. Wade aren't that far off. Let's break it down. Jordan famously won back-to-back dunk contests. In 1987 and 88, Kobe won as a rookie a decade later. Will Anthony Edwards eventually participate in and probably win the dunk contest? Let us know in the comments, but based on the way he treated the All-Star game this year, that's probably not going to happen. Those comments sort of hurt the comparison. Jordan, Kobe, and Wade all won All-Star MVPs in their careers, choosing to make it at least semi-competitive every time they played. But can you really blame Ant? He's not exactly the only player in the league who treats the All-Star game as a joke. All three of these legends were selected to all defensive teams, and Jordan even won Defensive Player of the Year in 1988. While they were all absolutely lockdown guys, the defensive plays that made them famous were blocked shots. And Jordan was doing this even way past his prime. But none of that matters if Ant can't get it done on the biggest stage. Dwayne Wade always stepped up in the clutch, first bursting onto the scene with his 2006 Finals breakout series. But throughout his career, he performed best when it mattered most, like that insane game winner against the Bulls in 2009. All the way to his final season. In this play, Wade got stuffed on his first attempt. But like Edwards missing that free throw before his insane game-winning block, Wade didn't let it get him discouraged, and he made that second effort. Plays like that are what make superstars. Plays like that on the biggest stage are what make legends. Will Edwards ever have the chance for a shot even close to as iconic as Jordan's last bucket with the Bulls? A sixth title on the line. Is it crazy to say Edwards can go that high? Let us know in the comments. Outside of that, all four guys are pretty much prototypical shooting guards. Edwards has a sick handle, great mid-range game. He's got that Euro step, which looks just like Wade's. But that spinning fadeaway, that is iconic. Just like Mike and Kobe. All four are insanely well-rounded, though Edwards has the others beat in one specific category. Edwards might be the next step in shooting guard evolution, specifically when it comes to the three-point line. He shoots 36% from deep for his career, which is good, not great, but definitely better than the other three. Kobe shot 33% for his career, only taking more than 6 threes a game once in 2006 when he had zero help and scored 35.4 points per game to drag the Lakers to the playoffs. But for the most part, he played inside the line. MJ played in a different era, so it's not even a fair comparison. In back-to-back years in 97 and 98, he shot 37%, then 24% from deep. Just crazy fluctuation. For his career, he took 1.7 threes per game, less attempts than Edwards has makes in any given season. And Wade, he just couldn't shoot from deep. In that iconic 2006 season, he shot 17% from three. No hard feelings, Flash. When we look back 20 years from now, is that how we're gonna see Edwards? Just like Kobe played a more modern style than MJ, and MJ played a more modern style than David Thompson, Edwards plays a more modern style of shooting guard than Wade, Kobe, MJ. It's not saying he's better than Jordan, just saying this is where the league is headed. But Jamal Crawford has had enough with the comparison altogether.
I agree with a lot of those comparisons.
You agree with what?
The comparison that he's going to be the next Mike.
Oh gosh, here we go. Jamal's very sensitive about that.
What do you mean by? Well, can we stop doing this with MJ?
Listen, Michael Jordan-ish. I didn't say the next Michael Jordan. I said
He does.
Well, say.
Can you say move? He kind of moves like Mike.
Thank you.
He moves like
does.
J.R. Ryder,
No,
updated.
Nope.
Wow.
Jamal got pretty offended by the comparison. Is he right? Ever since 1998, the NBA has been looking to crown someone the next Michael Jordan. Kobe tried his best to mimic Jordan's style, so people called him the next MJ. LeBron doesn't even play the same way as Michael Jordan, but everyone tried to make that comp. People did it with D-Wade, now they're doing it with Anthony Edwards. It's not like Shaq is saying Ant's as good as Michael Jordan, he just plays the same way. With that being said, is it too early for these kinds of comparisons? How many titles does Ant have to win before we can say he is close to Michael Jordan? Is it 4, 5? Does he have to get 6? More importantly, is that even possible? Before you say no, remember Ant is only in season 4 after just 1 year in college. He is 22 years old. Imagine saying in 2011 that Steph would have 4 titles, or in 2004 that Wade would have 3. Imagine saying in 1986 that Jordan would have 6 titles. It always seems impossible for players to ascend to that level early on, but then boom, they do. What do you think? Let us know in the comments, then watch one of these videos next. Listen to The Wrong Opinion, useless NBA trivia, and garbage rankings for more NBA content.